So hello everyone, we are here with one of our former student Gauri Joshi, who will be sharing with us her journey all the way from masters leading towards the PhD course, securing a place for PhD. We have some quick questionnaires as always we do. Okay, Gauri. So can you please tell us about yourself and your academic background?
As you've introduced me so nicely, I'm Gauri Joshi. I did my bachelor's from the Maharaja Sayajirao University of Baroda in psychology. After that, I went for my master's in the UK at the University of Bath. So I completed my master's in health psychology, after which I applied for the doctorate course in counseling psychology. And yeah, I've completed all my taught components for now, handed in my thesis, and I'm just waiting for my viva.
Yeah, that's excellent. Securing a place for PhD itself is really challenging, and which our student has already done and gone through it, right? So it is very much required to, make students understand, there are possibilities, there are chances if they want to secure all the way towards their doctorate programs. Another question for you is what motivated you to choose UK for your doctoral studies? Were there any specific factor that influenced your decision?
Yeah, I think the education system in the UK, especially for a doctorate in psychology, is quite comprehensive. So the course in itself has a structure that I am not sure if I would have been able to find maybe in India. So it's a very in-depth course, a very hands-on one. So you have a taught component, so you're studying different therapeutic modalities. You also get to apply all of that on your placement. So you have a separate placement each year. So you get to apply the modality that you learn with clients. You also have a research component, and I am always have been quite passionate about research, so that really appealed to me. And yeah, you get to register with the regulatory bodies for psychology in the UK after the completion of this course. So
Wow,
yeah, I think
great.
that was it.
So, what specific field or discipline is your research focused on?
So my doctorate is in counseling psychology, but my research focus based on what I did in my master's is on chronic pain in adolescents. So specifically young people between the ages of 10 to 24 or 10 to 19, depending how you're looking at it. Yeah,
Okay.
how they make sense of their identity when they have a chronic illness like chronic pain. So that's what my research focuses on.
Okay, Gauri. So, can you just help us? How did you navigate the application process, including selecting universities and potential supervisors?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I can start by just quickly differentiating between a PhD and a professional doctorate. So a PhD might be a bit longer in duration and it mainly focuses on research and maybe a bit of teaching. A professional doctorate has other components as well. So we have a taught component. It's basically like you need to attend lectures, you have assignments, so you study throughout 3 years. You also have a research component, which might be a bit shorter in length compared to a PhD thesis, and we also have clinical placements. So it's a combination of all of these things. In terms of the application process, there are, I think, a handful of universities in the UK which offer this course. So I looked at universities in terms of what kind of therapeutic modalities they offer, because each university offers a different therapeutic modality. So the ones which I was interested in, the kind of clinical placements that I might get, for example, if I'm living in a city such as London compared to maybe another city. Um, yeah, and I think I also looked at the research interests of the professors or lecturers who potentially might be teaching me, how they might match with my research interests. So, yeah.
So, Gauri, can you please just help us out with the quickly, how is the application process for
Yeah.
the doctorate programs?
Yeah, of course. So, as with every program, you have a written application. So, that's going to include your academic degrees, previous transcripts, all of that stuff. And
Okay.
once you get through the written application, there's an interview. So, the interview itself might have several parts. Depending on the university, you might have like a group discussion with other potential interviewees. So, that's one part. You might get the university to send you a research paper or a case study which you have to look at during the interview. You get separate time for that, and then I think there's a panel interview with two or three lecturers, and yeah, you get asked questions on your previous experience, yeah, about the case study or the research that you read. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's the process.
Okay. So, Gauri, please, even you help us out with, what are some of the cultural differences you encountered when you first arrived in the UK? And how did you adapt to these changes?
Yeah, I think the biggest one is I'm not sure how to like put it properly, but maybe how collectivist we are here. I'm not saying that people aren't friendly over there, but I think when you grow up in India, it's almost like, oh, you have your neighbors, you're speaking with them, you have so many people around you. So it can get maybe a bit isolating. So I think what really helped me was putting that foot forward. And as someone who's a bit introverted, it was hard, but I think it's really helpful to keep looking for friends, to keep meeting people, because that's how you build a support network, and that's really important to have.
Yes, 100% networking is the only solution when you
Yeah,
are away from
yeah.
your family, right? Even Gauri, like, how did you find the transition from your home country education system all the way to the UK?
It's been quite different actually. So there's a lot of independent studying. So I was quite shocked to know that I don't have any exams, and I think exams are like the primary way of assessing students in India. So it was quite different. The assignments are quite creative and I would say self-directive, but in a way that you learn what you're doing so much and you're able to see that in depth in a way that you would want to. It's not merely dictated by, oh, this is how you need to do something. So you really get to tailor your learning in the way that you want, of course, in guidance with what the university wants, but still.
Right. Once again, like, could you share any specific challenges you faced during your research journey? And were there any unexpected hurdles?
Yeah, I think it was, I wouldn't say it was unexpected. I knew that balancing the various components of the doctorate at the same time would be challenging. I just did not anticipate how challenging it's going to be. So, trying to navigate through the research, but also the taught components, trying to make it to lectures, also doing all of the assignments and placement. So seeing clients concurrently with like assignments and all of that, and then also trying to have a bit of a social life, personal life. I think managing all of that together was quite challenging for me. So really having to step in and take some time off is what helped, because you can just keep going and then burn out in the end. So it's really important.
So, Gauri, do you have any tips for maintaining mental and physical well being during this demanding phase?
Yeah, I think it's really important to do that, because otherwise, like I said, you can just keep going. So, the first thing is, I would say, having a supportive circle around you that would involve your colleagues, because you need someone from the same course to be able to rant about what's going on. It's really hard for someone who may not be doing the course to understand the specific, maybe stress that you might be experiencing. So, I would definitely recommend that. I used to go out for very long walks. I was fortunate enough to have a nice park very nearby, so I would do that. Scheduling regular breaks for yourself, because if you don't put it in your diary, it doesn't happen. So, yeah, just making sure that you're looking after yourself in whatever way that feels okay for you.
So, in short, you need to structure your day on day-to-day
Yes.
basis. Gauri, is like, how did you build your academic network in the UK? Did you attend any conferences, workshops, or collaborate with other researchers?
So I did have a bit of a network from my master's course. So I actually did end up publishing a paper with my lecturer from my master's course as well as a colleague. So I think that was like a really good starting point. Apart from that, LinkedIn has really helped me. Because the counseling psychology field is quite, I would say, we are quite small in number. So I think that's one place where you can find other people who are also pursuing this course, and yeah, of course, through my own colleagues. So these have been the main sources.
Wow, wonderful. Okay, Gauri, we would even like you to throw some light on, what strategies did you use to foster meaningful connections within your field?
I would, yeah, once again say LinkedIn has been quite helpful for me. So, as I said, the field of psychology, yeah, we are quite small in number. So, it really helps to build your connections through that to see, yeah, who else is there, what their interests are. And also through the clinical placements that I've had. So, like I said, we have in a professional doctorate clinical placements every year. So, that's another place where you can meet, yeah, potential employers, I would say. You can meet other people in your field. So, there's
Right.
also conferences which are organized by the BPS in the UK, so those are also quite good for networking. I haven't been able to attend, but yes.
We have one more last question for you, Gauri. Like, how has your experience in the UK shaped your career aspirations?
I would say the kind of experience that I've had through my placements and through my academic journey, it's really helped me see the kind of practitioner that I would want to become, the kind of modalities which really appeal to me.